Hi everyone, this is Rhonda. I just wanted to come on today or tonight, early in the morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning right now. But I wanted to come on and just talk a little bit about um, my hair loss and just kind of give you guys a little bit of insight on who I am and some of the things that I've gone through and overcome in my life. Um, as a young woman in my early 20s, I lost my hair due to a chemical burn from a relaxer that I had received. And what happened was I went to a stylist and they put a relaxer on my hair and I got a chemical burn from that relaxer. And then the burn became severely infected and it culminated in a condition called folliculitis decalvans, which is an inflammation of the hair follicles. Um, while I was going through this hair loss journey in the beginning was so very hard for me because not only was I young, um, but my scalp was severely inflamed, and so it would pus and ooze like a huge open sore. Like my scalp was like oozing ickiness all the time. And so even though I was in treatment, the treatment did not at first did not cure um, or heal my scalp, should I say. It just sort of helped to reduce the symptoms that I was having. So it was not because in the beginning they were treating me for seborrheic dermatitis, which um, did nothing for the inflammation that I was having. It just kind of helped control the itchiness part of it, but it didn't really treat the condition. And it wasn't until I switched doctors and found someone that specialized in skin conditions for people of color or black people that I was able to really get help and to really change my prognosis. Now, when I had started going to the new dermatologist, I had come to terms with by that time that I was losing my hair or had lost most of my hair by that point. Not all, but I had probably about 60% of my hair by the time I got to this new dermatologist and they had done a biopsy on my scalp and had given me or found the correct diagnosis and began to treat me for that. Okay. And so in the midst of treatment, I remember saying to myself and praying and asking God to please direct these doctors um, to help me and that I was okay with not having hair as long as my scalp would heal. And so that's what I asked for. I was no longer concerned with could they save my hair because prior to this point, everything that they did was to treat me, but more so to save my hair because I didn't want to lose my hair at such a young age. So that was part of it, in coupled with the fact of the misdiagnosis. So I think if I had been diagnosed correctly from the beginning, I would not have had the severe hair loss that I have today. But that's neither here nor there. I can't go back and turn back the hands of time. I just had to move forward and deal with the cards that I'm dealt right now. So what happened was I had started seeing this new dermatologist and got correctly diagnosed because the chemical burn had now developed into something more serious. because it had gotten so infected and inflamed, etc., etc. And so, and this, let me tell you, was over the course of about 2 to 3 years, because it didn't all happen at once. It was like I would get a flare up and then it would heal up and then it would flare up again. So I went back and forth like that for a while. And then it got to the point where it would flare up. It had flared up so much that um, it became really, really infected. And my hair began to come out in patches all over my head. And so by that time is when I had said that, God just healed my scalp, that all the hair could go. I just needed my scalp to be healed because I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore. It was causing severe migraines. My head would hurt so bad I couldn't even lay my head on the pillow at night and get a comfortable night's sleep because I was in so much pain. Um, it hurt for anything to touch my head, and in order for me to go to work every day, I had to wear a wig. I had to cover my head because it was just, I couldn't be out in public like that, especially with my scalp losing. So I had to do whatever I could to try and mask it and cover it up. And so, being that my scalp was like an open sore, I basically I would wear sort of like a bandage under my wig. And because I had to do that, um, it caused odors. So then I had to deal with not having, um, not only, I had to deal with not only my scalp being inflamed, but now I had an odor coming from my scalp, excuse me, especially when it got warmer in the warmer months. And so it was a constant thing for me to have to go and shampoo my hair every single day just to control um, the infection that I had on my scalp. And so moving forward to where I started going to the new dermatologist, and they diagnosed me correctly and started treating me for what I had. In the midst of treatment, mind you, I had 2 children. And so when I had my babies while I was pregnant with them, I had to get off my medication. So that's what extended my scalp healing because I had gotten pregnant and had 2 children in the midst of me going through treatment. And um, the medicine that I was taking, I could not take while I was pregnant for the safety of my babies. So I suffered through 2 pregnancies um, with this condition. And so after my second daughter was born, um, is when, shortly after she was born, I think it was when all of my hair basically had come out for the most part. And I got to the point where my scalp had begun to heal. And um, I don't know, it was, how do I say, it was, I can't even express to you how I felt in words really because I was broken and I felt ugly and I felt disappointed and I was angry. I had a plethora of emotions that went along with this. I didn't want to be around people because I didn't want people to know what I was dealing with. And I didn't feel at the time that people would understand. And my husband at the time certainly did not understand because he was not at all compassionate towards me in reference to this situation. So that added to my pain because when I was around him, I always had to hide it and cover it up. And so after that marriage ended, um, my healing began after my first marriage. And when I met my current husband, he helped me to realize that no matter what I looked like in the mirror, that I was still beautiful, and he thought I was beautiful. Um, but I didn't necessarily feel that way, and I didn't think anybody could truly love me as I was until him. Um, and I remember the first time that I shared with him that I had lost my hair and showed him what I looked like without my hair. And he looked at me and he says, "What's the problem? You're beautiful." And I was like, "Okay, are you sure?" And he says, "Yeah, you don't ever have to cover yourself up. I love you for you. It's not about how much hair you have or anything of that sort." And that began the healing process for me to begin to love me and accept me as I am. And then about 3 years ago, I decided that I was no longer going to hide behind the wigs, that I was no longer going to um, have that security blanket where I felt that I was only pretty if I had on a wig, because hair is beauty to most people. And so about 3 years ago, I embraced the natural me in all its glory. And I decided that I was not going to go out in public, just like you see me on camera now, without a wig, without a scarf, without a hat. And I was going to let my extended um, friends and family know or see me without my head being covered with something. And and I did that, and the response was crazy. The response was people embraced me, and they um, I remember putting a picture on Facebook and everybody was like, "What took you so long?" And, "Oh my God, you are so pretty. You're beautiful. You're strong. You should have did this a long time ago. Why were you hiding behind all those wigs?" And I was overwhelmed by the response that I had gotten from the general public. And this was from people that knew me and people that didn't know me. Um, and boy, did my confidence level change at that point. Um, and so today, I'm a better me. Today, I can truly say that I love me. And I can truly say that I love who I see when I look in the mirror. I love the reflection that's looking back at me because it is me. It is who God made me. I can truly say now that I don't have any, excuse me, um, I don't have any hangups anymore about my hair or the lack of any hair. And if you all can see, part of the reason why I had such issues with going without a wig is because my scalp is severely discolored from the scarring and everything uh, from when my scalp was inflamed. And so that was another reason why I didn't want to just wear my hair bald, is because my scalp was discolored. But now, girl, guys, I don't even have a problem with going out in public. I do the majority of the time now without anything on my head, and I'm able to wear a wig now, or a hat now, or a scarf now as an accessory and not as a necessity anymore. Okay. And that's a huge change, that now those are my accessories, like my earrings, and not a necessity in order for me to feel like I'm being presentable in public. Um, and that's a huge hurdle that I had to overcome. But it was through my relationship with God and my husband and my children loving me and embracing me and constantly telling me that I was beautiful, and that I should go and I should just wear my hair naturally bald, as I am, uh, and that, it was okay. And so once I came to terms with that, and once I accepted that, and I began to look at me, and I began to embrace my baldness, that things in my viewpoint changed. Because I will say that my entire family, um, current family, never um, looked at me differently, or anything like that, or made me feel differently. It was an insecurity that I had, and I had to hide behind that. And so when I released that and I let that go, um, things changed for me dramatically, in the way that I looked at myself. And so that's how I have the confidence that I have today, because now I see myself as a beautiful plus size woman, and that I have a lot to offer. And I always felt I had a lot to offer. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. And so now I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I hold my head high, and I know that regardless of whether you think I am or not, I am who God made me to be, and I strive each and every day to be the best me that I can be, to love everybody and to love myself, and to encourage myself, and to encourage those that cross my path, that you can be and do whatever it is that you set your mind to do. Um, I'm a firm believer, and I affirm to myself every day, is that if I can conceive it, I can believe it, and I can achieve it. And that was even to the point of accepting me as I am without hair. I had to first conceive that I was okay for me not to have hair. Then I had to believe in myself that I was beautiful and strong and confident. And so then I became beautiful and strong and confident in my own eyes. And when you're that way in your own eyes, then you project that confidence everywhere you go. And so people perceive you as you perceive yourself, because even though people may not look at you and say, oh, you look a certain way, or you don't look good like that. If that's the way you feel about yourself, then that's the way you think other people feel about you. And I had to learn that, because I felt a negative way about myself. Everybody else was not feeling negative about me, but I couldn't see the positive because I was blinded by the negative. And in order for me to get beyond that point, I had to learn how to love me in my own skin. I had to learn how to embrace Rhonda as Rhonda is today, not as Rhonda was yesterday, with a head full of hair, hence the wigs that I would hide behind them, and that I no longer had to do that. So now today, if I wear a wig, it's just an accessory. It's just something that I want to do that's different. So now today, the majority of the time, wherever I go, I don't have a wig on. I go like this, or I may put a scarf on to be, a different look or whatever. But I am so thankful, and I am so grateful for my family, my immediate family, my husband, my children, how they have encouraged me and embraced me and loved me through my pain, even when I didn't love myself, even when I didn't think I was worthy. They still loved me, and they helped me to move beyond where I was stuck, the rut that I was in. Um, and so I will say to anybody that's going through a similar situation, is your support system is vital to your healing. and know that you are awesome. You are beautiful, just the way that God made you. This is only a circumstance that you have to go through, and but it does not define you. It does not make you any less of a person because you have something that's different than what mainstream society defines as what is normal. Okay, so no matter what your difference is, you're still normal. It's your normal. You know, it may not be their normal, but it's your normal. And you have to embrace what your normal is in order for you to have that confidence and to present yourself as a positive force in this world. And that's what I was able to do with my hair loss and um, embracing my hair loss and overcoming um, my insecurity and not having to have a security blanket any longer. So I would just encourage you to hold your head up and be strong and know that you are exactly what God made you to be. You are strong. You are beautiful. And don't you ever let anybody tell you or think anything different. I love you guys. Thank you for taking the time to listen to a little bit of my story, and I will be back to share with you again soon. Don't forget, if you all are looking for my crochet videos, then they will be over on my new crochet channel, JadoreLeCrochet, and I'll have a link down in the description box. I will talk to you all soon. Have an awesome evening. God bless.